Hi, this is James Reaney with this week's edition of Reaney's Pick in London Arts and Entertainment. Well, we're thrilled to have with us this week from Western Professors M.J. Kidnie and John K. Leonard, and right about now we're going to hear a little bit of Milton's Paradise Lost.
I'm going to read two passages from the very first book of Paradise Lost to illustrate Milton's cinematic imagination and to convey the sense of how Paradise Lost would make a fantastic motion picture. And the first passage is Satan addressing the fallen angels who've just fallen all the way from heaven down to hell and are rolling in a lake of lava. And this is the speech with which he rouses them from that boiling lake. He called so loud that all the hollow deep of hell resounded. Princes, potentates, warriors, the flower of heaven, once yours, now lost. If such astonishment as this can seize eternal spirits, or have ye chosen this place after the toil of battle to repose your wearied virtue, for the ease you find to slumber here as in the vales of heaven? Or in this abject posture have ye sworn to adore the conqueror, who now beholds cherub and seraph rolling in the flood with scattered arms and ensigns, till anon his swift pursuers from heaven's gates discern the advantage, and descending tread us down, thus drooping, or with linked thunderbolts transfix us to the bottom of this gulf? Awake! Arise, or be forever fallen. This next speech shows the effect of that previous speech. What's happened in between is the devils have all moved off the burning lake with great effort and pain and are now rallying and marching. And the description that follows is being compared to a Nuremberg Rally. So it's something like there's a certain fascist element to hell. All in a moment through the gloom were seen 10,000 banners rise into the air with orient colours waving. With them rose a forest huge of spears, and thronging helms appeared, and serried shields in thick array of depth immeasurable. Anon they move in perfect phalanx to the Dorian mood of flutes and soft recorders, such as raise to height of noblest temper heroes old arming to battle, and instead of rage, deliberate valour breathed, firm and unmoved with dread of death to flight or foul retreat, nor wanting power to mitigate and swage with solemn touches troubled thoughts, and chase anguish and doubt and fear and sorrow and pain from mortal or immortal minds. Thus they, breathing united force with fixed thought, moved on in silence to soft pipes that charmed their painful steps o'er the burnt soil. And now, advanced in view they stand, a horrid front of dreadful length and dazzling arms, in guise of warriors old, with ordered spear and shield, awaiting what command their mighty chief had to impose. He, through the armed files, darts his experienced eye, and soon traverse the whole battalion views, their order due, their visages and stature as of gods. Their number last he sums, and now his heart distends with pride, and hardening in his strength glories, for never since created man met such embodied force as named with these could merit more than that small infantry warred on by cranes, though all the giant brood of Phlegra with a heroic race were joined that fought at Thebes and Ilium, on each side mixed with auxiliar gods, and what resounds in fable or romance of Euthyphron, begirt with British and Armoric knights, and all who since, baptized or infidel, jousted in Aspremont or Montalban, Damasco or Morocco, or Trebizond, or whom Bizerta sent from Afric shore, when Charlemagne with all his peerage fell by Fontarabia. The next passage comes from later in the poem in Book 4. Satan has now left hell, escaped from hell, travelled across chaos in one of the earliest and greatest of the descriptions of space travel in all of literature, has arrived on earth, arrived in paradise, and sees Adam and Eve for the first time. And the speech you're about to hear is a soliloquy. Satan speaks to himself after he's heard Adam remind Eve of the prohibition not to eat the apple. And if only Adam had kept his big mouth shut, we would still be in paradise, because Satan wouldn't have a plan to destroy them. But what's interesting about this speech is his sense of indignation at the prohibition of knowledge. So, MJ?
Yet let me not forget what I've gained from their own mouths. All is not theirs, it seems. One fatal tree there stands of knowledge called, forbidden them to taste. Knowledge forbidden? Suspicious, reasonless. Why should their Lord envy them that? Can it be sin to know? Can it be death? And do they only stand by ignorance? Is that their happy state, the proof of their obedience and their faith? O fair foundation laid, whereon to build their ruin. Hence I will excite their minds with more desire to know, and to reject envious commands, invented with design, to keep them low, who knowledge might exalt equal with God's. Aspiring to be such, they taste and die. What likelier can ensue? Yeah.
Okay. This next passage comes from Book 9, the Book of the Temptation, where the serpent meets Eve. I'm going to be reading two voices, the narrator and the serpent, and NJ is going to be reading Eve. And this is a very important moment in the poem, and one that's very relevant today, because Satan is, among other things, a con man. And here he uses the classic tactic of a con man, which is to build the mark up, then dash them down. And the crucial moment in the temptation is when the serpent leads Eve to the tree not yet specified, and she realizes when she gets there, it's that tree. Okay, this is So glistered the dire snake, and into fraud led Eve, our credulous mother, to the tree of prohibition, root of all our woe, which when she saw, thus to her guide she spake.
Serpent, we might have spared our coming hither, fruitless to me, though fruit be here to excess, the credit of whose virtue rests with thee, wondrous indeed, if cause of such effects. But of this tree we may not taste nor touch. God so commanded, and left that command sole daughter of his voice. The rest, we live law to ourselves. Our reason is our law.
To whom the tempter guilefully replied, Indeed, hath God then said that of the fruit of all these garden trees ye shall not eat, yet lords declared of all in earth or air? To whom thus Eve, yet sinless,
Of the fruit of each tree in the garden we may eat, but of the fruit of this fair tree amidst the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat thereof, nor shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
MJ Kidney and John K. Leonard, thank you. That was fabulous. You two are setting the stage for an adaptation of Paradise Lost that is being presented at the Arts Project on March the 3rd and March the 4th. And for some reason, that reminds me, you can get all your arts and entertainment information in the Today section of the London Free Press on Thursdays, and of course 24/7 here at Post Media News. For the London Free Press and Post Media News, this is James Reaney signing off, saying this jacket belonged to Balrajan, great Milton scholar and great Londoner.